Yo, what's up? This your boy Derek Branch here, Saint Discussions on Strike 7 Sports. And today I got some new news. I would say a lot of new news concerning your New Orleans Saints. A lot has transpired since I have did my last vlog which was like last Monday on the whole Michael Thomas, you know, pretty much emptying the entire clip on the Derek Carr in the New Orleans Saints organization. Now a few days after that, the Saints, finally start to make some moves in the offseason as their 2024 offseason campaign is starting to shape up. So the news, Friday afternoon, the news finally broke about who the Saints were going to pursue, seriously pursue as the new offensive coordinator. And according to this report put out by ESPN's New Orleans Saints staff writer, beat writer, reporter Catherine Terrors, that the Saints plan to hire 49ers Klint Kubiak as their new offensive coordinator. Now, mind you, nothing is final until the 49ers get done playing in the Super Bowl and they'll get their deal. The details of the details of the deal will be released. Now, there's some people out there that were saying that, maybe he can do something similar to what Cliff Kingsbury did, where everybody announced that Kingsbury was going to become the new OC of the not Washington Commanders, the Las Vegas Raiders. But like a few days later, like yesterday, on Saturday, he pulled out of the deal because of certain, languages in the contract. So the latest report is that he's going to become the Commanders' new OC. Well, anyways, I don't think that's gonna happen with It's not gonna happen with Clint Kubiak, and mostly all of the offensive coordinator jobs have pretty much been taken up so far. Seattle is still open. It's still opening in Seattle, I believe, and I think the Raiders are zero. I think the Raiders hired Luke Getsy, who the Saints interviewed like a few days ago. But Cliff Kingsbury, the Saints, is projected to be the Saints' new offensive coordinator. They've Saints had interviewed numerous candidates over the past few weeks. A lot of people were getting anxious, getting upset, and coming up with all these theories about, Dennis Allen doesn't want nobody that's an alpha male that can come in and take over the team, or nobody wants to work with Dennis Allen. Nobody wants to work with a lame duck head coach. I mean, dude, I don't think that's the case, man. I think, you can believe what you want to believe, and that's fine. But I think that you Dennis Allen's getting a second opportunity to be a head coach. He's given a third year to become a third year to show that he's a capable and a competent NFL head coach. Job is on the line. Clearly, it's good to take your time. It's good to do your diligence, interview pretty much every prospect that's out there. They interviewed Brian Johnson, the Philadelphia Eagles. They interviewed Gerard Johnson. That was a name that was Florida as a possible name that could come back that could take the job. Dan Pitcher, Zach Robinson, a lot of names. Zach Robinson, Brian Greasy, who's also part of that Shanahan staff. Lou Getsy, everybody. Ronald Curry, the candidate that was in house, and they decided to fall on Klint Kubiak, who is you know, comes from that Kyle Shanahan offense in San Francisco. So Klint Kubiak is the son of Gary Kubiak, who won the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos back in 2015. Also was the head coach of the Houston Texans a while back. So Kubiak, to go on and read this real quick. Kubiak began his career as a Broncos offensive assistant under his father in 2016. He was promoted to offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings in 2021. They finished 12th in total offense and 14th in scoring offense. But Kubiak did not stay on the staff after coach Mike Zimmer was fired prior to the 2022 season. The 49ers finished the 2023 season as the fourth ranked passing offense in the NFL. They were second in the league with 33 passing touchdowns and Brock Purdy's first full season as a starter. Saints still don't have a wide receivers or running backs coach. And also, Kubiak is a former player, played at Colorado State, I believe, as a safety, if I'm not mistaken. So that ties so NFL ties as of him being a player. He also has some siblings as well that's involved in coaching. I believe the other Kubiak brother, is also involved with the 49ers coaching staff as well. But to me, this is a good hire. This is a good hire overall. You wanted somebody that came from that Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, and you got it. You know that that Shanahan McVay circle, and you got it with Klint Kubiak. Now, the thing is, with this job, right? Dennis Allen has to knock it out of the park. Klint Kubiak has to knock it out of the park. Plain and simple. Because let me tell you how important this hire was. If Klint Kubiak turned this offense around in 1 year, his name will shoot to the top as a top head coaching candidate for next season, for the 2025 season. Now, he's 36 years old. He could stay another year in New Orleans like Ben Johnson did, or he could bounce like Dave Canales did when he came over from the Seattle Seahawks to Tampa Bay Buccaneers and was working with a supposedly lame duck head coach, and they got to the playoffs. He could go to another team. It depends. It depends on how Kubiak sees it. That's the only drawback of this situation. If this guy get his offense really going, that's a chance he could be gone from the Saints within a year. It's like a 1 year stay. You know what I'm saying? And he's a young guy, fits the mold, comes from the Shanahan coaching tree. Successful offense. It's a lot, man. This is one of my drawbacks of hiring this guy. And Dennis Allen is not an offensive head coach. He doesn't have an offensive pedigree. So if the Saints will go to the playoffs next year and have success with this offense, they're gonna have to continue to find good assistants to become the offensive coordinator. It's just that simple. Now watching San Francisco over the years, how that system is set up, they involve with a lot of motion. They use the tight end a lot. Running back play is a big deal with that offense. Wide receivers, they do a lot of good things with their creative things with their wide receivers. A big thing I want to see with the Saints offense, if they're going to be able to do it, is who's going to be the blocking guy in that wide receiver core. Because what San Francisco does with their wide receivers, they do a lot of blocking. They do a lot of blocking. Um, Tight end is a big deal. I don't think we have that type of player. We don't have a George Kittle on our roster, in my opinion. Um, Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara pretty much built in the same mold. Are the Saints gonna hang on to Alvin Kamara, or are they gonna move on from him? It depends. But I can see the vision, man. But it's gonna it be the biggest thing is Derek Carr, and was last year's issues of him taking 12 weeks to learn his offense was based on the incompetence of, I won't call it incompetence, but the I would say the Pete Carmichael's being slow to adapt to Carr's playing style, or that's just who Derek Carr is. He's just a quarterback that's gonna struggle to learn a new offense. You know what I'm saying? This first season, it depends. That's why I was kind of like advocating that Ron Curry gets the job because Derek Carr had finally started to learn his offense. But Saints felt as though, and Dennis Allen felt as though the team needed to go in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot, man. He's gonna want to implement into this system. A lot of brand new concepts are gonna come into the system. I think Alvin Kamara could be a huge benefactor of working in this offense. Tight end, we might not have a George Kittle on his offense, but I think Juwan Johnson can do some really nice things with working with Klint Kubiak. Chris Olave could have a huge year because you know what I'm saying. Um, there's a lot, man. Sky's the limit if things can come into play. You know what I'm saying? Um, he worked in Minnesota he's worked with good wide receivers before. Justin Jefferson had a huge year under him back when before that 2021 season. That was a huge year by him. So I think it's a good hire, man. It's a good hire that could become short lived if things come into play. If the Saints, or even if the Saints don't make the playoffs, they go 9-8 again, and the offense is, becomes top 10, top 12, top 15. He's gonna be a hot candidate, man. The Saints may be in a situation where they fire Dennis Allen and hire Kubiak, or they make the playoffs and possibly lose Kubiak. It depends, man. So we'll see how it play out, man. But overall, man, I think this is a good hire. I would give it I think I'll give it a B plus. Fire Klint Kubiak. All this should have happened back. They moved it. They should. This move was made a little too late, in my opinion. Hire should have. They should have parted ways with Carmichael last season. That was a mistake. That was To me, that's one of Dennis Allen's biggest errors as a head coach with the Saints. Hold on to Pete Carmichael too long. You know what I'm saying? But what's done is done, and Saints got a new offensive coordinator supposedly, and looking forward to seeing what changes he's gonna implement with the current players we have right now. So we'll see. All right, next story. Derek Carr was reported a few days ago. Well, came out around Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, that Derek Carr was going to the Saints will likely restructure the contract of Derek Carr. A lot of people had these expectations of Derek Carr of the Saints, letting Derek Carr play out this year and not touch his contract, so that way he's on the hook for 30 million this year, for at least $30 million this season. They let the season play out. Um, get his 30 million, and then while he's getting his 30 million, you draft a quarterback this season, and you part ways from him after this year. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. And I don't know why a lot of Saints fans, had these expectations of that possibly happening. I don't know why they're tied to this dude, bro. They view this guy as the QB of the future. And Derek Carr's what, 32 years old, 33 years old. They view this. Mickey Loomis views Derek Carr as their quarterback of the future. That's how they see it. That's how they want it to. That's how they want everything. That's how they want it to be portrayed. It is. Yeah, he's 32 years old. That's how they want it to be perceived. And they had to do it. This was always in the works. You know what I'm saying? And the Saints they're restructuring. They really need to structure this deal because the cap space. They need the cap space. You know what I'm saying? Salary cap hit is 35.7 million, highest on the team. A standard restructure will reduce his already guaranteed base salary from 30 million to the veterans minimum, and they pay the difference out as a signing bonus, which is prorated over the next 5 years. That lowers cap hit down to about 12.6 in 2024, saving the Saints more than 23 million in cap space this year. See, it's key phrase right there. 23 million in cap space. And they go ahead and do this restructure. This was the plan all along, according to Signer. Committed committed to committing the car with heavy guarantees through the first 2 years. That's what got him to sign here instead of with say the New York Jets or the Carolina Panthers. Now New Orleans would be still in the red by more than 60 million after the restructuring car. The Saints still will be, the Saints will still buy the Saints will still buy higher over the cap. Well, by a higher figure than any other team. The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins both need about 50 million to reach cap compliance. There's a lot of work still to be done. This is just the first big step. The downsides of doing this, cars cap charge in 2025, 45.7 million, and 2026, 55.7 million, go even higher, increasing by about 5.7 million each season because his money was already guaranteed, just paid out differently for accounting Purposes, it's more difficult to get out of Carr's contract later on. If he fails to improve with a new offensive coordinator in the fall, then General Manager Mickey Loomis will be left with an albatross around his neck. Releasing Carr before his contract expires would accelerate all of those $5.7 million signing bonus payouts through the current year rather than scratching them out over time. It's more complicated if you look further out. If Carr is on the roster by March 17th, 2025, then his 30 million salary for that season will be fully guaranteed. Two, let's say the Saints do a restructure of Carr this season, which is what is expected. That puts his 2025 cap hit at more than 51.4 million. They have to make a decision next year on whether to cut him to negligible salary cap benefit or structure him again. Knowing Loomis, the latter route is more likely. Carr was always going to be in New Orleans for at least 2023 and 2024. Structuring his contract now makes it highly likely that he'll be the quarterback again in 2025. His current deal runs out in 2027. Who knows what the team looks like at that point? Loomis and Dennis Allen could both be gone, but Carr and all the money they chose to invest in will remain. All right, let's I'll cut it off right there. All right, so yes, Carr will most likely be here for another 2 years at most. And if things go well, it could be longer than that. That's how much they value this guy. They want this guy to get this team back to where it once was. Give they want this guy to get this team back to its 2017 through 2020 winning ways, where they won four straight division titles, one had back-to-back 13-win seasons, a 12-win season, Pro Bowlers all over, home field advantage in the playoffs. That's what they want with this guy. Now, my thing is this: you committed the car, fine, but that still should not stop them from investing in a quarterback. Now, no, this ain't me saying get rid of Carr and do this and do that because I understand the financial obligation in regards to the situation. I'm saying the Saints need to do a better job of being proactive, finding a successor to Carr than it was with Drew Brees. Because if we were being honest, if we had did this in the beginning, Carr probably wouldn't even be on this roster. You had guys like Jordan Love that you could have drafted a guy like Jordan Love. It, it's always well, it just I won't get into details, but you could have had Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson, a lot of guys that could have came in and taking over for Drew Brees. But what's done is done, and time to move forward. Now the Saints can set themselves up for even longer success if they draft a quarterback. I don't care if it's the second round, first round, third round, fourth round. Draft you a quarterback along with Jake Gainer and develop those guys. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're being honest, Carr is 32. He's 32 now. Turned 33. He turns 33 next month. He will have about, I would say, 4 to 5 more years of solid production. Around that time, you could be developing a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. You know, not don't get caught up in building a championship team. I mean, I understand that you're close and all. The Saints, like they did with Breeze, they kind of when back in 2017, they got back into the playoffs. They felt as though they could make a run at it, and they did. They put all the chips to the table and committed to building a winner around Drew Brees. It kind of like, I would say to me, kind of pushed the future to the side, and it didn't get done, and now you're paying for it. Let's not repeat what you did with Drew Brees after Drew Brees once he retired. Get a quarterback, no matter what has when his what Ron it is, and develop the guy. He doesn't have to start right away. If the Saints are in contention, if the Saints get back in playoff and Super Bowl contention, he definitely not starting. So actually, you shouldn't even worry about that. But but they need to develop somebody. They need to be more proactive about that position going forward. All right. Now, so restructuring Carr is going to save the Saints with a 23 million in cap space, and I'm pretty sure they're going to come to guys like they're going to talk to guys like Cameron Jordan, Demario Davis, and a few others about restructuring their deals. So with this extra cap space, with this influx of money, the money that you're going to have, who are the Saints going to go out and get? That's the next um, question to ponder because I don't see the Saints sitting on their laurels, going into something and viewing this season as some type of, tearaway year. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that, man. They're going for this thing every year. They believe, like, they don't care what everybody else thinks on the outside thinks or what the fan base thinks. They believe that this team can compete for a championship. They really do. They believe that they're close, contrary to popular belief. You know, but Cole will most likely be here at least next year and the following year. Now, if things bomb out and the entire bottom fell out, the entire, it just goes to the wayside. Kubiak is a failure. They'll be drafting another quarterback. That's the only way. Other than that, he's your guy. So it is what it is right now. All right, my last story to talk. Saints hired offensive line coach Doug Marrone. News was reported yesterday, or at night, kind of late. I would say late at night, around. I would say I found out like around between 8 and 9 o'clock. They reported this story that Doug Marrone was going to be fired. Uh, this ain't a surprise, man. A lot of people were frustrated with the way the offensive line had had regressed under Doug Marrone. These past couple seasons, and with a new offensive coordinator coming in, he's gonna want somebody else that he's comfortable working with, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But I think this is a much needed move, man. This is a much needed move, man, because the Saints used to have some of the best offensive linemen in the game at one point. But at one point, they're the best lines of ball. Now after that, after 2020, it just been 50-50. You know, it just kind of went by the wayside. You know, and a lot of those guys, when you pay your offensive lineman like that, everybody's getting paid. They're expected to produce out of them. You know what I'm saying? And also, Trevor Penny, the guy that you move up forward to get, he is not doing pretty well. He is, trending toward bust territory. So you gotta get it out. You gotta get somebody that can come in and that's gonna work with Klint Kubiak, you know what I'm saying, and develop a solid offensive line. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta see how that's gonna play out. You know, it just it was due to it was it's a move that should have been made, man. You know, Marrone came in and the offensive line had their moments when they were pretty good, but then they had their games where it looked pretty bad. You know, where Carr got hurt and Carr, not trusting his offensive lineman, made some questionable decisions with the football. You know what I'm saying? So, according to this story, Pro Football Talk is that Klint Kubiak is expected will be Willie bring some of his own systems along with him as he attempts to reshape the Saints offense. That's most likely gonna happen. Somebody from San Francisco possibly come over, or somebody from work somebody in Minnesota before he was fired. I think his name was Rick Dennison. I think he got fired because he didn't want to take the yeah, Rick Dennison. He got fired because he didn't want to take the C-19, the vaccine. So he he got fired. He had fired him, and he was Klint Kubiak was the offensive coordinator during his time in Minnesota. So that's a name that's been floated out there as well. So a lot can go down, man. A lot can transpire, man. A lot of names they can look at for this job. You know, they also need another running back coach. So I don't think it's gonna be Benemy though. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that'd be less motion, man. If Benemy goes from head coach candidate to now he goes to being finally under outside of Andy Reid's shadow, and then you come back to the Saints to be a running backs coach, a running back coach. It's like a demotion to me, man. But we'll see how it play out, man. But Doug Marrone fired as soft line coach. I mean, not surprising to me. They also need another wide receivers coach. So still got to build the staff, man. Still got to finish. Got to finish out building the offensive staff around Klint Kubiak. So overall, I think it's a B plus. I'll give it a B plus higher. Um, Good move by the team. You got a guy that you wanted. I thought it was gonna be Ronald Curry, but it is what it is. So I would like Ronald Curry to stay with the team, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is let go. But we'll see. Um, and it's only February. Um, a lot of stuff to cover these next couple days. So you got your offense coordinator in house now. We supposedly your new offensive coordinator after the Super Bowl. I think that staff will start to get built out after that. But we'll see how it play out. All right, so that's y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. What were your thoughts on the Saints hiring Klint Kubiak, and what was your overall grade of the hire? Also, check out saintsdiscussions.com for latest content on all Saints organization. Have a blessed day. Peace out.